For the first time in over 25 years, it's time to introduce your Knoxville Smokies.
Go Smokies!
All right, Smokies fans, welcome back to the Smokies Baseball Network. Here, joining us for our live pilot pregame show alongside Philip Stalzer, Richie Giuliano. I'm Connor Nelson here before our series finale between your Knoxville Smokies, AA affiliate of the Chicago Cubs, and the Biloxi Shuckers, AA affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers. So, two teams that are battling it out in the NL Central right now, looking for the NL Central title. Their AA affiliates going at it head-to-head here in the Southern League. So, it's been a back-and-forth series so far, but got to start it off, as always, reminding you listeners that our show is brought to you by Pilot. And as a proud sponsor of the Knoxville Smokies, Pilot's out here to fuel your game day drive with gas, snacks, and more. Pilot, come on, everybody, do it with me. See you out there. All right. I love that. Got to love some Pilot. So start it off with a quick icebreaker. Richie, if you're going to a Pilot gas station on your way to, I don't know, maybe say Rocket City, if you're going to see some of next week's action, what are you picking up at Pilot?
Definitely going to get one of those jumbo waters that they got in the fridge. Always got to stay hydrated. I know you're more of an energy drink guy, but
sometimes
I'm plain and simple. Need some water to stay hydrated, and then I'm probably going with extra toasted Cheez-Its.
Extra toasted Cheez-Its. Yep. So you and Corey Joyce, a big Cheez-It fan as well. That was his answer for what his gas station Pilot snack would be. But Phil, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm not really much of a snack guy, but I'm definitely going to go, I think, along the hydration route. I usually stick with Gatorade or Powerade, something like that.
Yeah, you do a lot of athletic activity. You need to be refueling those electrolytes 100% constantly. And for me, fellas, it is sometimes, Richie, it depends. If we're on the early stages of that road trip, maybe I'll pick up an energy drink. But if not, usually I like getting the water with one of those squeeze tips so you can just kind of hit it on the road, squeeze it into your mouth from the road. So that one's always lit. And then it's either a combination between a chip and a candy or a candy and a candy. And you might be thinking, well, a candy and a candy is not a combo, but that's because you're not thinking it all the way through, because there's a lot of levels to the candy. You could go with chocolate. You could go with a Skittles. You could go with a donut. There's a wide range of variety out there. I'm just saying. So that's our Pilot segment to start it off. And now let's go ahead and talk about what's been going on here in this series. So as we mentioned, it's been back and forth right now, but Biloxi with the win yesterday, they hold the series lead. So Richie, what's been your biggest takeaway from the first 5 games?
Yeah, back and forth, and the Smokies needed a big series at home where they were going to win it, and they don't have a chance to win it today. They have a chance to tie it. And right now, Birmingham's lost 2 in a row. You had some chance to make up some ground, but just didn't do it. I've been impressed by some of these young prospects that the Brewers have. Luis Lara is one of the speediest guys I've seen in this league in a long time. And then we saw the power and ability of Blake Burke, former Volunteer, yesterday with a great game. I think he's going to be a future star and a first-round pick for the Brewers. And then for the Smokies, they just need to get a consistent lineup going. You're without B.J. Murray and Corey Joyce, are 2 of your biggest run producers. So they're kind of shuffling in this lineup right now. They're trying to get production from different guys, mixing people up defensively. So I think the key is getting Murray and Joyce back for next week in the series at Rocket City.
Yeah, 2 of the biggest boppers in the lineup. We saw B.J. Murray Jr. taking fielding practice. Remember, he was injured last Saturday at Chattanooga. There was a play, a slow squibber back to the mound, and the throw kind of took B.J. Murray's glove into the baseline, and he collided with the base runner. So probably just nursing that wrist, that hand, the arm, whatever it may be, just a little bit longer, and I'm sure we'll see him back inserted into the cleanup spot for that series in Rocket City. But, Phil, in your perspective, what's been the biggest takeaway? What's jumped out to you here in the first 5?
Yeah, I think the pitching, especially the starting pitching, has been really strong so far in this series. It's really the difference in these games has been a matter of, can the offense give them that run support? So if we can go out and get some really run support today, I think it really just sets the tone for the game and really gives us the best chance to win.
Yeah, well, we're back in our
a little bit. So I think it was a really good look for the Smokies, and I'm glad that we got to benefit a great cause with our partners at Covenant Health.
Yeah, and then Phil, I don't know if you heard, some Giuliano mob crime boss family actually came away with some of the pink and black uniforms. Isn't that right, Rich?
That's right. We got two of them. Pedro Ramirez and Jordan Wogu talked a little bit about it on the broadcast. I've had some, family members and some friends who have battled breast cancer. So always great to support that cause.
Yeah, well, and it was a great cause on the field. The fans really packed out Covenant Health Park for Paint the Park Pink Night. Unfortunately, now, though, the Smokies are 1-1 on Paint the Park Pink Nights in the last couple of years, so we'll see how they're able to run it back next season. But we still have 31 games left here in this second half, and the Smokies need to turn it on now, or else they're going to lose their shot at potentially getting that last playoff spot in the Southern League North. So, Phil, how does the North look right now for the Smokies?
Yeah, right now Birmingham's still at the top, of course, 27-11. Knoxville behind them, 18-19, 8.5 back of Birmingham, though. Chattanooga just a half game behind us, 17-19, and Rocket City rounding it out 12-26.
Yeah, and then if you look over in the Southern League South, Biloxi, they've been beating up on us the last couple of games, but they're still in last place. Richie, how's the rest of the South look?
Yeah, Columbus is then in third place, 4.5 games back. Montgomery 3.5 back, and then Pensacola is the leader in the South right now at a 22-15 clip. They've won 6 out of their last 10, and they're matching up against Montgomery here in the series finale. So that's a big game in the South today. And then Biloxi, who won the first half, is in last in the second half due to a lot of injuries, but gaining some traction. They've won 2 in a row.
It's going to be interesting to see how the South shakes out. Every team within a series shot, and that's not the case right now in the North. Birmingham seemingly running away with it. So the Smokies going to need some help from the rest of the Southern League, and they're going to need to get on a roll now because time is running out. But they've got a quality starter on the mound today to try and help them achieve that W, and it's going to be Tyler Schlafer on the mound for the Smokies, going up against Brett Wichrowski, a couple of top 30 prospects for both of these teams. And let's go ahead and get into the starting pitching matchup. So let's go ahead and start with the other team. Richie, what's the report on Wichrowski?
Yeah, he is a number 13 prospect for the Milwaukee Brewers, a 1-4 record and a 3.22 ERA. Not a long starter, only averages 4 innings per start, but has a lot of pitches in his arsenal that he's going to showcase on these highlights. A fastball that he likes to work up in the zone, has a slider he works away against right-handed hitters, a sweeper, a changeup, and a curveball as well. So a lot of pitches in the arsenal for Wichrowski. But last time he was out against the Smokies in this series, just a 3 2/3 inning start, 2 hits and 3 runs, threw 88 pitches. So really struggled to put away hitters, and he threw too many pitches in the ball game. So the key for him tonight is to have an efficient start.
Yeah, we've seen these highlights of one of his best starts of the season against Columbus. You can see when those breaking pitches are on, they're tough to cover. And when you're trying to sit on that mid-90s fastball as well as those pitches, it's going to be a tough day at the plate for the Smokies. Hopefully they can jump on him early and get into that bullpen here in the series finale and set themselves up for a W, because it's Tyler Schlafer on the mound for the Smokies on the other side. Phil, what's the report on the righty?
Yeah, Tyler Schlafer obviously started game 1 of this series, 4 innings, 3 earned runs, 4 Ks. So a pretty solid start out of him last time. He'll look to repeat, build on that a little bit. But he's been good. He's been pretty solid. 2-1, 3 ERA over 30 innings pitched. So, like I said, solid. Just looking to go out there and compete. And like I said earlier, hopefully get some run support and really be able to tie up this series.
Yeah, I think whenever Tyler Schlafer takes the mound here at Covenant Health Park, it gives me flashbacks to this start that we see in highlights of right here, that 4th of July Double-A debut for Tyler Schlafer. He was just absolutely electric. Had his pitch count up over 90 pitches as well. Hasn't done that since, but we're hoping for a long, quality start from Tyler Schlafer here again today at home. After the last start in Game 1, we kind of saw him get into trouble early for the first time. But, Richie, I mean, you were on the call. I thought he settled in pretty well and was able to bear down and keep his team in the game even when he didn't have his best stuff.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I think the key for a Smoky starter is can we get under 25 pitches and have a productive first inning?
That's right.
That's been the downfall. There's been a lot of bullpen arms used this week because the starting pitchers haven't been able to go very deep in games. So the key for Schlafer today is get off to a good start.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and preview the lineup that he will be going up against. Shuckers, 17-21, fourth in the South, 59-48 overall. Richie, how are they looking 1 through 9 here today?
Yeah, Luis Lara is going to start in the leadoff spot again in center field. Probably their best player, most productive guy who leads the league in doubles. Cooper Pratt bats second, the designated hitter. Blake Burke, former Volunteer, back in the lineup again at first, and he's playing in the 3-hole today. Eduardo Garcia cleans it up to shortstop. Xavier Warren, switch hitting third baseman, bats fifth. Darian Miller will do the catching today, so Matthew Wood gets the day off. Garrett Spain, the right fielder, bats seventh. Jeremy Vargas batting eighth at second, and then Vladimir Restituto is in left because Adam Hall had that injury yesterday in the middle of the game. So I think Hall, unfortunately, might be out for a decent amount of this second half, and now Restituto is in left field, and we've already touched on their starting pitcher. It is Brett Wichrowski, 1-4 with a 3.22 ERA.
Yeah, scary to see Hall go down and out of the game yesterday because it was such a great catch that he made on the play that resulted in the injury. So wishing the best for him, hopefully a speedy recovery for the outfielder. And the other thing that I wanted to point out here, guys, is that we saw Eduardo Garcia, who is making his Southern League debut this series, play center field yesterday. Now we're seeing him slotted at shortstop. This guy's been in the cleanup spot. I mean, we didn't really have that big of a report on him before the series, but this is a guy that they must think very highly of. The ability to go play two of the most highly touted positions on the field and batting in the cleanup spot. We haven't seen him impact the series just yet, just batting 167 with 1 RBI. But that's a guy to keep your eye on out of the cleanup spot for the Shuckers, one of their most highly touted prospects here in this lineup. However, not in the top 30. But let's go ahead and get into the Smokies batting order, where there are plenty of top 30 prospects, and they're all right up at the top of the lineup. Phil, how is Lance Reimel aligning his squad?
Yeah, so the Smokies got Jefferson Rojas at shortstop leading off. Pedro Ramirez, the switch hitter, playing third base. Brett Bateman in the 3-hole today, playing center field. Pablo Aliendo, cleanup, playing first base. Rayvaj Garcia will be at second. Jalen Palmer will be in right. Casey Opitz behind the plate doing the catching. Andy Garriola will be DHing in the 8-hole. And Jordan Wogue will be rounding out the order in left with Tyler Schlafer on the mound.
Yeah, it's been a different lineup. Like you said, Richie, we're trying to find some consistency here. It seems like Lance has just been mixing it up every single game this series. You've got a semi-consistent top of the order with Jefferson Rojas and Pedro Ramirez, but now we see Brett Bateman into the 3 spot for just the second time all season. Richie, we were talking about it the very first time this happened. It was kind of a, wow, this is going to be a new look. We'll see how long this lasts. Mm-hmm. It was only for 1 game, but now after the Smokies have had some tough time producing some runs over the past couple, we see a lineup switch. So, Richie, what are your thoughts here with the starting 9?
Yeah, I think Rojas at the top's got to set the tone today, just batting 164. Younger prospect, hasn't been able to hit the ball very well in Double-A. Ramirez is going to get some chances to drive in some runners in the 2-hole. And then Pablo had a late hit yesterday trying to prove himself in the cleanup spot. And then from 5 down to 9, need to be more consistent. I think the best move of the day is putting Wogu in left field and playing him in the 9 spot because he could flip over the lineup card. Wogu's had a pretty good year, hitting 257, starting to come on as of late. Had 2 hits in yesterday's game. So I think that's the best move in the lineup with Wogu at the bottom, brings some balance, and then flips it over to the top.
Yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see. It all resulted in Pedro Ramirez probably having the biggest at-bat of the game last night. And, Richie, you would kind of preview that at the beginning. That's the guy you want up in these situations when you don't have B.J. Murray Jr., Corey Joyce in the lineup. So we'll see if this lineup realignment puts a different guy in that spot here tonight. The Smokies find themselves in another one of those big spots with runners on base. So, and fans, can't forget to remind you that this season, Pioneer Comfort and your Knoxville Smokies are teaming up to hit home runs for heroes. So for every home run hit by a Smokies player this season, Pioneer Comfort will donate $100 to the Wounded Warrior Project. And to date, we've raised $5,300 with Pioneer Comfort, an amazing cause and an amazing way to rack up those donations with some big flies. So that will move us on to our final segment here on our Pilot pregame show, our players to watch. So picking out a couple of guys that we think are going to have a big impact here in today's series finale. Phil, we'll start with you. Who are you keeping an eye on?
Yeah, I got my eye on Jalen Palmer. He's been hot over the course of this series. 5 hits in those 5 games, 1 triple. He's batting, that's good for 357 with an OPS of 1,000. So just been hot over the last week. I really think that he can, like you said, Richie, just give some consistency in the middle of that lineup, second half of that lineup, and really be able to help, like you said, flip over the order, produce some runs, driving some runs through this lineup.
Now, we haven't seen Palmer slotted in here into the middle of the lineup very much. Typically, he's either batting ninth or sometimes leadoff, so we'll be curious to see how the power speed threat is able to make an impact out of the middle of the lineup. You can see it here and through all these highlights. He's got enough pop in that bat to get the ball over the fence. He's also got plenty of speed to impact the game if he's only able to get on via the walk. So, Richie, who are you keeping your eye on in today's game?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Wogu. I think that he could be one of the most pivotal guys in the lineup today, just because he's batting ninth. And, the top of the order, Ramirez and Bateman are your two guys you look to drive in runners. So for Wogu, having a good series, hitting 286, he is 2 for 2 in his career against the starting pitcher for Biloxi and Brett Witrowski. So I'm going to say Wogu is my player of the game for the Smokies today.
Yeah, he's been really turning it on in the second half. Hopefully he can flip the lineup over and be a productive second leadoff man. And for me, I'm going to be calling out Jefferson Rojas once again. We have just seen him consistently at the top of the Smokies batting order and just hasn't been able to make the type of impact that we expect from a number 3 overall prospect. And we'll just pull up some highlights here. He's shown flashes of the player he can be. You love hearing the sound off of the bat for Jefferson Rojas, but we just haven't seen it all come together on paper so far. And here in the series finale, facing another top prospect, I like calling out when top prospects face other top prospects, because even though everybody here in the AA level is going to have good stuff, it means a little bit more to these front offices and high-level scouts and even fans, too, when you get to see that prospect number next to these guys' names. You want to show out against the best. That proves you're ready for the next level when you get there. So those are our 3 players to watch, and that wraps up our pilot pregame show. So for Richie Giuliano, Philip Stalzer, and myself, Connor Nelson, signing out for the Smokies Baseball Network. Stay tuned right here on the radio, 92.5 or 1180 WKCE, for all 9 innings of Smokies Baseball. It'll be Richie and myself along the call with you. So stay tuned right here for all the action, and let's go Smokies.
Fans, for the first time in over 25 years, it's time to introduce your Knoxville Smokies.
Go Smokies!